think it was $16.4 million.
Wow. This imaginary token, we don't know what you can do with it.
NFTs aren't dead. They're coming back.
25 years in prison for one of the largest crypto fraud schemes in history.
Wait, a baby's starting a token? The babies are rugging us?
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Not Your Average Bros. I am the BlondeBroker.
I'm AshleyDCan.
And we're here to bring you a very fun-filled episode. We are going to do a recap of everything that happened in crypto in 2024.
So exciting.
Probably talk about some price predictions for 2025. You guys know this year was full of ups and downs like normal in the crypto market. So we're going to break it down month by month and give you our thoughts.
I'm excited.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, let's kick this off with the month of January. In January, all of the spot Bitcoin ETFs were approved.
Oh, we were so excited.
Yes, this was a very big month for us. That was a bang. We had the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission finally approved spot Bitcoin ETFs, which was led by BlackRock.
Yep.
This event basically sparked a very considerable, I guess, interest for investments into Bitcoin. And I would also say Ethereum.
A lot of traditional investors got more involved into cryptocurrency because of this. And it felt like more TradFi versus just DGenFi, which was really cool because we saw a lot of people actually... It felt like it gave a lot of legitimacy to Bitcoin after all these years. So that was really nice to see. Like, I felt like a true investor.
Yeah, I think during that month, Bitcoin reached an all-time high, which currently right now at our all-time highs, we're not thinking that, you know, in January, I think it was around 42,000.
We were so excited. Yeah.
Right? Wish we would have bought a lot more then. But I'd say overall, January was a pretty good month for crypto to kind of start kicking off this really amazing bull season that we had in 2024.
Yeah, I would say that was a perfect way to start the year because we started the year on already a high. And as we will continue later on in the show, it just gets better from there. So Ethereum surpasses Bitcoin in monthly gains, and there was an uptick in users, crypto users, 575 million globally.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Okay, so we saw a lot of adoption. Would this be like in DeFi downloading wallets? Would it be, I guess, purchasing Ethereum or?
I think it was a little bit of a mixture of both because 575 million globally, I think would signify wallets. Maybe it signifies also, you know, with the ETFs being, you know, freshly made available, it probably was a little bit of information pulled from there. It was interesting that Ethereum surpassed Bitcoin for the first time. A lot of people saw Ethereum not being super like a good year for Ethereum in 2024, but it really was because we saw so much growth, particularly in that month, that it was a big moment for ETH bros. So I started out as an ETH bro in 2021. So it was a bit of a happiness for me, but I'm more of a Solana and Bitcoin person now. So sorry, Ethereum.
Yeah, I started out as an ETH bro or ETH maxi as well. I think it was really ETH was referred to as the dead man's coin for most of this year, and they would always refer to it as like sick, wasn't doing anything. There's that meme with the guy poking the stick, like ETH do something, everything else is going up. But I think this last month, there were a couple of charts that showed ETH was the only actual token hitting all-time high.
It was like a stable coin, I feel like, for a while.
Yeah, so that was crazy. I also know, speaking of ETH, there was something to do with CryptoPunks.
Yes, I think that's on later.
Yeah. That was in March. So the next year, if you want to touch on March.
Yes, March had a very significant CryptoPunk purchase of, I think it was $16.4 million.
Wow.
So that was actually 4,850 ETH, probably the second highest transaction in crypto, period. I can't remember off the top of my head what the first one was. We'll probably add that later. But it was extremely significant because this year, a lot of people were saying NFTs are dead. There was a lot of negativity towards NFTs. And that was a huge moment because it showed that NFTs aren't dead. They're coming back. And if you think they aren't coming back, I mean, they already are. And we'll get to that, of course, later. But I would say that was as impactful as the 2021, us seeing all the crazy purchases there. If I'm not mistaken, that was when the first biggest transaction happened in NFTs, which was another CryptoPunk. So CryptoPunks are just absolutely dominating all the time.
And Bored Apes are coming back too this year.
Yeah, you think that Bored Apes will get back to the 500K, $500,000 on the wrist that they were about?
I hope so. That would feel good in terms of the investments that you and I both personally made.
Yeah.
But it would be nice because I think apes were kind of the dominant ecosystem or group of NFT collectors in the space for so long. They really revolutionized a whole new wave of people that were like, okay, crypto is more than just this imaginary token. We don't know what you can do with it. Now you have utility, and also it was good for art collectors. So,
and it brought so many celebrities, brought Paris Hilton, Snoop Dogg, Eminem,
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, Justin Bieber, Madonna. I mean, there were so many celebrities going into NFTs, especially with the Bored Apes. I loved to see it because it just truly showed that people were starting to make cryptocurrency, specifically NFTs, like more. They were openly adopting it. And I mean, Amy Schumer randomly came to Ape Fest 2022. That was very weird, but also showed, that somebody that has no business in crypto or NFTs just generally just showed up because they could, because it was a big moment in history. So feels like we're so back.
Yeah, we're back. Maybe not to Ape Fest days, but we're definitely back. And soon. I also know the month of March was huge for crypto as a whole because if I remember correctly, this is the month that SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, was given 25 years in prison for one of the largest crypto fraud schemes in history.
That is absolutely crazy. That one, it took so long for him to get sentenced in the first place. 25 years is a lot, but honestly, I think it's totally justified. I mean, if you look at Ross Ulbricht, he's been in prison, feels like forever, and he had a crazy long sentence. And if anything, I think that he brought more mass adoption to crypto. I mean, I don't agree with every single little thing that happened, but I think he was punished at such an extreme level. With SBF getting 25 years, he ruined so many people's lives. He made people completely bankrupt. He ruined the reputation of the business. He caused a massive downswing of the market. I mean, there's so many things that he did that was wrong. And honestly, 25 years, that's a lot. But I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing him just rotting there forever.
The funniest thing that happened during this whole, I guess, era of Sam was him in prison telling guards to buy Solana. He was pumping his bags. I mean, in prison.
GG's.
Yeah, players gonna play the game.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that about him. You can tell a bunch of prisoners and guards to buy Solana if they, I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't imagine a criminal coming up to me and telling me to buy something and me taking that advice at all. So, I mean, if anything, he's probably damaging the reputation, but we'll see.
I'd want to give him a haircut.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. He's like a chia pet.
In April, we had another big month for Bitcoin. This was known as the Bitcoin halving. And for those that don't know, this was the fourth halving, which is known to reduce the mining rewards to, I believe it was 3.125 BTC per block or something like that. And historically, these halvings basically lead to a price increase.
Yes.
Leading up to, I would say for months up until the actual halving occurs.
It's like the setup for a bull market, because the bull market is usually led by Bitcoin, and then altcoins come after, and then it keeps going from there.
Yeah, but it's also mainly due to supply reduction, right?
Yes.
So now this year was absolutely no exception. That means, so technically what this means is that the price of mining will double. So in order for miners to make back their money, I think in April, right? I want to say Bitcoin was hovering around the 70,000 range.
Yeah,
which
something like
crazy
that.
compared to what we just talked
74K.
about in January. And then for miners to make any of their money back, it's going to have to reach like 140,000 plus.
Yes.
So absolutely crazy.
Very bullish for
Very
crypto.
bullish. Yeah, April was huge. And then if we bounce over to May, that was absolutely another big month for the crypto industry. You had Ripple winning their lawsuit against the SEC.
People were so excited, especially OG XRP holders, because so many people were very bullish on XRP in 2021. People lost their faith in XRP and have been absolutely just butting it for years now. And it added a lot of validity.
Yeah, and it was all over the classification of what XRP was, which basically affected the future of crypto as a whole and how the SEC was going to classify any other currency.
Yes.
And then we also had pumpfun live streams.
Yeah, because we talked about pumpfun live streaming before on I think it was the second episode, and just the amount of unhinged behavior on there as it started, and it just progressively gotten worse. One of the first videos that I saw on pumpfun was, and I talked about this last time, was the stepsister video.
Yeah.
And then it just continued, but there was cute ones like the baby creating a token, which is arguably cute because the concept is like, oh, a cute little baby starting a token. And I was like, wait, a baby starting a token? Babies are rugging us?
Yeah. So. I remember people made money, but I'd say most people actually got hurt and were maybe left disgusted by pumpfun users.
Yeah. I mean, pumpfun has never been, if you're looking to be a moral voice against pumpfun, you're just not going to win. Cryptocurrency is run by complete degenerates and always has been. But I mean, it got to a point where it was just, there were so many different metas. There was the racist meta, which was very awful. There was so many different metas that happened that were just very distasteful. So it just was starting a very bad trend in crypto of people. I mean, people have always done that when it comes to live streaming and making total asses of themselves, but it got to a new level where they were getting to, if I go to 1 million, if I go to 5 million, if I do this and that, I'm going to do this crazy stuff.
All right, well, let's move on to the month of June. In June, you had the US and Germany moving Bitcoin to different exchanges, and we kind of started to see a little bit of a sell-off after having.
They sold off between, if I'm not mistaken, mid-June to early July. And actually, the backstory on that, there was a website called movie2k.2 that had its assets taken because of money laundering and among other criminal behavior. And that was where that Bitcoin came from. And so according to a judge, they had to sell all the assets, including the Bitcoin. So it wasn't actually Germany even selling it. They technically didn't even own it. It was just a small random state in Germany that was the sell-off, and people were roasting Germany a lot for selling their Bitcoin for so low. But in reality, they actually never had it to begin with.
Oh, how the turns have tabled.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was from The Office.
I love that.
I love it. We also had Mother token.
Oh, yeah.
Launched by our homegirl, Iggy Azalea.
I love her.
The queen of rap and all things. She's iconic. Absolutely someone that I grew up listening to. Launched her own token, and the token actually did really, really well.
Yeah, and that was part of the Celeb Meta with Sahil and some of the other celebrities that did many different awful things in the space, like a lot of ruggers. I think Lil Pump also started his, so he's still been around. So we have a lot of celebrities starting tokens. Iggy Azalea is probably one of the most notable because she really was very entrenched in the market, and so was, Lil Pump. They both kind of did a lot, but I think Iggy was very significant mainly because she's constantly pushing. Almost every post that she's making is dedicated to her token, her growth. And, one of my favorite things is that she makes memes of her butt. And maybe that's like, some people would think that is, maybe not so tasteful, but I think it's perfect because, it's her brand. Her brand is, she is being literally goofy with her butt. And, I was a former titty enjoyer. And that's a level of content that I think, one, drives a lot of horny boys to the token. So good job on that. But two is also like, you see she did a meme once where she had her butt smoking a cigarette, like Matthew McConaughey looking at a phone. It was her butt. And that to me was one of the funniest things. So bravo.
Yeah, that was thank you, Mother, for kind of coming into our space and also bringing a lot of fun and enjoyment. I know that it was, I believe, Breakpoint in Singapore. They
best party ever.
Had a huge party. I didn't go. I
went and I got to meet Iggy Azalea, and that was pretty cool because I was a big fan of her in high school. Even now, but like she hasn't, she kind of retired for the music business. And so talking to her, she's actually so down to earth. She was talking to everybody, not just myself, not just, the KOLs and, influencers. She was talking to everybody. She was going around taking pictures, just one of the most down to earth people to meet. So that was really, really cool. I think that happened in September. So that's a while from, when she started the token, but I think she's done a very good job of entrenching herself. And there are some other celebrities that have tried to entrench themselves, and I think that's really good for the Celeb Meta, unlike the other celebrities that rugged us. You know who you are.
You know who you are. So if we want to cover the month of July, this was one of my favorite months that we experienced in the crypto market.
Felt very bullish.
You had Trump speaking at Bitcoin Nashville, which if you're into politics, you know that he was one of the very first candidates besides RFK who was pro-crypto.
And he originally was not super pro-Bitcoin in 2019, and it looks like he changed his stance, which was really cool to see, because we had not had a politician in the history of ever do that. So it's nice to see him go from not necessarily anti-Bitcoin, but not pro, to now full on send it.
And then he also had an attempt, which happened on July 13th.
Yes.
Which was insane.
So I think the biggest thing about the attempt is the symbolism behind it, because that picture, it goes hard. There was a lot of people being able to rally behind it. It was like a battle cry.
Yes.
And it was, in my opinion, one of the reasons why Biden dropped out, because how could you beat something like that? You literally
survived.
Yeah. And despite what people may say about, it just being the year, it just being this and that, it's a huge, huge moment in history that is going to be talked about for forever, really.
Yeah, it was insane. And I think you saw a lot of quieter Republicans and conservatives kind of come out of the woodworks and support Trump. And it definitely boosted his campaign.
I'm pretty certain, if I'm not mistaken, that's the month that RFK Jr. also stepped down from the election.
Yes.
And Elon donated millions of dollars to the campaign. RFK Jr. also spoke in Bitcoin Nashville, and I actually met him at the gym while he was doing hip thrusts.
He's shredded.
He's so shredded. He can bench a lot.
He might be the right guy for that position.
Yeah, the health position.
Minister of health or
whichever the health position. Basically, he's gonna make America healthy again, is what he says. So we'll see.
We need it. We also had Ethereum's 9th birthday in the month of July, and a hacker got into Sydney Sweetie's, America's Sweetheart's, socials, and was able to steal, what was the amount?
$500,000. Yeah. So that was the celeb Sahil Meta, I think is what it was, where he was taking over a lot of celebrity accounts, making fake tokens, rugging people. That was very fun. And of course, Sydney Sweeney has a massive simp army, especially in the crypto world. And of course, because of her 2 assets, she is able to, if she were to actually release a token, that would probably go to like billions, honestly.
Yeah, and actually stood behind it. So it was pretty big. I feel awful that she got hacked and tied into it. And speaking of getting hacked and scams and rug pulls, we're going to talk about Tuah. I think this happened later on in the year, most recent.
Her first event was Bitcoin Nashville. That's actually
where we met her.
Yeah, we went to the karate combat fight with her.
Yeah, and she's super sweet girl. So she
was sweet in July.
Unfortunate that all of this happened. We can kind of skip ahead and go into the month of August. I know that this was kind of a heavier month. So you had
the crash,
the halving in April. Yes, this led to Bitcoin rallying in the summer, and then August we called it a crypto flash crash. And this was a huge crypto sell-off due to some weak economic data, and caused a lot of mass hysteria and panic. And I want to say there was a wipeout of around $1 billion in total assets of Bitcoin and ETH from investors.
It was so over.
Yeah, it was super over until Robinhood added some Solana support, which was really bullish news for the Solana ecosystem. And I'm trying to think of what else happened.
So McDonald's actually got hacked too on Instagram, and they had the Grimace token.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they stole it wasn't McDonald's, but $700,000 was stolen. That was insane because that was one of the biggest crypto hacks. And Trump actually released his second NFT collection that month as well.
Yeah, and I think that NFT allowed people to go to any of his events that he was hosting in Florida.
ThreadGuy bought $25,000 worth of the Bitcoin, or ThreadGuy bought $25,000 worth of the NFT to go to dinner, and he actually got to ask him a question, which he counted as an interview. So that was hilarious to see that particular NFT got you that dinner, but it didn't guarantee that you would meet him, but it would just guarantee the dinner if you bought a certain amount. And apparently they're vested, if I'm not mistaken, till 2025.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll use it this year. That'd be cool.
Yeah, now that he's won the election, I think that people that bought it are going to see it as a bullish opportunity. Maybe it'll go, because the last Trump NFT, I think, went up to an ETH or something, or maybe a little bit over. And a lot of people made money on that, which, it was crazy because that was a massive collection. It was I think there was like 40 or 50,000 NFTs. So nobody was expecting it to go to that point. So it was just madness.
And then we can carry on over into the month of September, which was a very big month for you and I.
Yes, we fought each other.
There was, I want to say it's Solana Breakpoint. It was Token 2049, which merged into Solana Breakpoint. Ashley and I had our first Karate Combat debut and fight. It was super fun to see all of our friends come out and support, and also to be in another country. Singapore was pretty cool.
Yeah, it visually is so crazy to see. The gardens there were just
beautiful,
stunning. All of the technology that's in Singapore is just next level. It kind of reminds me of Dubai, has Dubai vibes. What's interesting about Singapore is that it's not a state, it's not a country necessarily, it's not a city, it's all of the above, because it's just Singapore. So it's one united little area with no cities, no anything.
And I want to say I learned while we were over there that it costs somewhere around $100,000 for a license just to be able to drive a vehicle in Singapore. Most people walked or used public transportation.
Yeah, and also there's so many rules there. Whenever my husband and I were flying in, when we landed, there was, if you've got a bunch of narcotics on your person, you could be sentenced to death. So, we were checking our bags just in case there were some sprinklings of anything. So it's very illegal to put in vapes, very illegal to chew gum.
Yeah, chewing gum, I thought that was wild.
Yeah, so, and I think also September was whenever I think September was also when Moodang was a big thing, and that was in Thailand, and a lot of people saw a surge of those animal meme coins.
Yeah, so this might have been the time that meme coins started to see a huge rally around the animal meta, the cute, pudgy, like plumpy, different animals, which we were also traveling to Japan, so I think we missed out on a lot of those runs. But that kind of leads us right into October, which, crypto gaming saw a massive surge. If you guys are fans of any of the current streamers, the Web 2 streamers that
Brycent, Orangey,
no, those are
Icy.
Those are Web 3 streamers. If you're a fan of Web 2 streamers like Tim the Tatman and FaZe, a lot of them were streaming off the grid.
Yes.
And for us as Web 3 streamers and gamers like Brycent and Orangey, it was really cool to see some of the large creators on Kick, on Twitch, on YouTube, and X streaming a game that actually utilizes crypto.
It was one of the most, in my opinion, mass adoption moments in gaming since Dookie Dash with Yuga Labs.
Yes, I think the same thing, because everybody was like, have you played off the grid? Have you seen what operator bundles are coming out? Like, to me, it was something else to play other than Call of Duty or League of Legends. It was like, this is a cool game that actually utilizes blockchain. The gameplay is super smooth. Mm-hmm. So, shout out to the Avalanche team for kind of, what a legendary game as well. The market cap of crypto gaming, I think, rose somewhere to like $21.5 billion.
Yeah.
Something wild.
Super massive. So it's really good. I mean, there was a huge gaming meta, if I'm not mistaken, in 2023, and I felt like it made a really good sweep back this year. So I can only imagine that it's just going to continuously get better with, crazy things like the AVAX marketing campaign, and other things that happen throughout the year. So it's very bullish for gaming.
Yeah.
So November was also a great month for crypto. So Gary Gensler, after Trump won the election, announced that he was stepping down from the SEC after a lot of hatred from crypto Twitter. Much deserved. Not sorry, Gary. So that was amazing to see, because I think everybody, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, rallied against Gary Gensler, because he just it felt like he hated crypto for no reason. Obviously there's a lot of scams that can happen in crypto, just like with traditional finance. If you look at the numbers, there is just as much, if not more, money lost every year due to scams from Web 2 than Web 3. So realistically, we've seen people like Elizabeth Warren say the same thing. It's only used for, it's only used for drug rings and things like that, drug trafficking specifically. And that is obviously very false narratives, and could be said for Web 2 companies. You know, banks have been caught money laundering as well. And so, yeah, I'd say Gary Gensler being kicked is amazing.
Yeah, the CEO of TD Ameritrade just got caught laundering a ton of dirty money, which, you know, most of them do, which is sad. But it's nice to see them pay retributions and have to like owe back. I forgot how much he got sued for. Yeah, and I think the SEC just appointed, I want to say his name is Paul Atkins.
Yes.
Who is going to help us a lot with clarifying anything to do with crypto regulation. So now we're going to roll into the final month of the year, which is December.
December was a crazy month.
December was when we had NFT or Art Week, Miami.
At Art Basel, the first day of Art Basel, Bitcoin hit 100K, and I was at the Bing Bong party. And we all celebrated that for the very first time ever. Bitcoin is 100K.
Yeah, that was a very amazing moment for all of you Bitcoin holders, for crypto as a whole.
Solana hit all-time high.
Solana hit all-time high. I think we were just waiting for this to happen, and it was cool that it happened when everybody was all in one city.
Yeah, we all got a chance. It was the first time, I think, at Art Basel that we all got to celebrate a super significant moment in crypto history. There were so many notable things that happened in December. Also, the first week of December, Tuah token, Miss Haley Welch, unfortunately rugged us with the help of her two crypto associates, Doc Hollywood and Solana Sweeper. It's interesting because we know these people. We've met them. We've had conversations with them. So this felt kind of like a very big betrayal of the market. So we still haven't seen or really heard the story other than a tweet that Haley Welch sent out about her involvement in the token, specifically how she was advised and that it was something that she was unaware of. So that will be interesting to see the big story. Note to you, Haley Welch, if you want to come on the show and talk about your experience, let us know.
We would love to talk to you about it.
Ha.
Yeah, the token dropped 95% within a couple of hours. So I'm glad we stayed away. Mm-hmm. And I also think it's really weird when you have a lot of high expectations for someone because she's super sweet. I just wish she wouldn't have gotten involved at all.
Yeah, I don't
talk about ruining your brand.
She could have been involved in crypto like she was, make memes, and never had a token launch. I think that I actually met the team of advisors that she had, and they were all very smart when it came to the Web 2 partnerships. From what I hear, this is something that was a rumor. I don't know if this is true. But apparently she had an opportunity to do stuff with Kick, and she declined for the crypto opportunity, and it obviously was the wrong move. So we'll see if she has her career after that, because she hasn't even done a Talk to a podcast in a couple weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
so
they were actually really good. I know she's actively cooperating with her lawyers, so I'm sure we'll see another statement coming out about what's happening and who is actually going to be held responsible for this rug pull. But that was kind of one of the most highlighted events and scandals that really occurred during December. And then we also just had, Bitcoin hitting an all-time high, and we're seeing kind of around the Christmas time, we typically you have your Santa rally, but we saw a little bit of a Santa pullback this year.
There was a little bit, a couple days that in the past week after Christmas or during Christmas that did okay. But for the most part, I think that every December it always pulls back pretty significantly, but Bitcoin still being at over 90K is pretty significant.
Yeah, I think a pullback was expected. That was our 2024 crypto in full year review. We're kind of going to talk about some of our price predictions for 2025, and then I think we have one question from the audience. I think given more bullish catalyst for Bitcoin, I'm hoping we see 200K, which I actually think is a pretty healthy target. If we hit anywhere relatively close to 200K. I think everyone's going to be extremely happy. I don't think that's too high of a price target. I've seen price targets of 600,000 plus.
I think that's a bit, 600,000 is pretty high. I want to be conservative and say that we'll see anywhere from 125 to 150 Bitcoin. And I say that because I feel that, 200K I think is potentially doable, but I think a lot of people, the sentiment is this bear market or this bull market, I'm going to actually profit. I'm going to take profits. They learned their lesson in 2021 where they did not take their profits. And I think a lot of people, once they see the over 125K range of Bitcoin, there's going to be a massive sell-off over people that want to take profits. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being overly bearish, but I would rather be safe than sorry because, we all want to take profits, like I said.
I also think that Ethereum could do pretty well this year. I think we might
Do you think it'll go to 10K?
I'd say 6. I think I'm going to be a little bit more conservative with Ethereum. I think Bitcoin, we saw a healthy 2x this year, which was insane, which is why I'm predicting a 2x for 2025. But Ethereum, I want to say 6K. I'd love to see the 10.
Yeah, that would be really bullish for Ethereum, for the NFTs, for the meme coins, because I feel like the meme coins have lived on Solana, which, if I'm being honest, I would love to see Solana at 1,000. I know that's very, very high. But I'm so bullish on Solana because the mass adoption on Solana went from being the least popular coin, besides for Cardano, which I love Cardano. Y'all give you give Cardano it's shit, but I like Cardano. The community is a vibe, and Charles is a great person, very smart dude. But Solana has had this crazy rally. It has some of the most innovative things that happen. It has pumped.fun. It has pumped.science. It has, Fire Dancer. It has some of the biggest celebrities and influencers in the space involved in Solana. It has some of the most interesting events. The foundation has done so many things entertainment-wise, hackathon-wise. They have Magic Eden, which was one of the OG marketplaces that was mostly Solana. It's still pretty Solana-based, and I think that it has such a big control and narrative of the market that I don't think it's crazy that if we see an altcoin surge, like last altcoin surge, we saw a very high price for Ethereum. We saw high prices for meme coins, and now that we're seeing meme coins really gravitate more on Solana, and that it's easier to make, it's cheaper to make, it's quicker to make transactions, and there's less gas fees for it. I really think that Solana has an opportunity to go to a crazy high like we saw with Ethereum, because if I'm not mistaken, Ethereum, before it hit in the thousands range, it was like under 1,000.
Yeah. For a while.
Yeah, so I don't think it's crazy to say that Solana could go to 1,000.
Well, I'm excited for 2025. I think regardless of all of our price predictions and what the analysts are saying out there, I think it's going to be a very bullish year for crypto. I'm hoping that we see a bull run until at least midsummer, and that people are actually taking profits this cycle. Don't round trip like we did last year. I think that was one of our talking points of
save a moon bag for yourself, but take some profits. There's no shame.
Take profits, be smart. And also, we really appreciate everybody listening and tuning in. I think that was it for our episode.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to our review of crypto in 2024 and what we think is going to happen in 2025. You guys can find me at the BlondeBroker on all socials.
You can find me at AshleyDCan on all socials.
And follow us at Not Your Average Bros on X, on YouTube, and we will be launching these podcasts on Spotify and Apple so that you can listen to them while you're driving in the car or just want to hear our beautiful, wonderful voices. They are awful.
No, they're great.
I love you.
I love you.
But thank you all for tuning in. We will see you next time.